Hey guys, what's going on? Christian with My Awesome Detailer here, and I want to talk to you today about a lot of the problems that you'll see with mobile detailing, some of the difficulties that you can experience, some of the hard times that I'll have, that I do have, and that you can have as a customer when you're looking at hiring a mobile detailer. So to start from the top, one of the biggest things I've noticed in the mobile detailing space is there are a lot of illegitimate mobile detailers out there. So what I mean by that is you can go into like the Facebook Marketplace, you can go on to Craigslist, even on Yelp sometimes, different things like that, and you'll see people posting ads and all as a detailing company, and in reality they're not. So when I'm saying illegitimate, what I mean is they don't have a license, they don't have an actual company, they have no kind of insurance whatsoever. And that is a big thing, and the reason for that is because it's really easy to get into it. So let's say you're just washing your car with what you have at the house. It's so easy to just put up a post on Facebook, to put up a post on Craigslist, wherever it may be, call yourself a mobile detailer, drive out and detail people's vehicles for cash, which, I don't have a problem with that at all. People do that on the side. It's just, you have to be careful when you're hiring someone like that to work on your $50,000, $80,000, $110,000 vehicles, especially if they're new. You don't want it right out the gate to start getting beat up. And if they do, harm the vehicle, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no insurance, there's no liability there. They're not even a real company, so there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So that is one of the biggest problems I see when you're hiring mobile detailers. But that's an easy thing to remedy. Usually you can just ask them straight up on the phone, are you licensed? Are you insured? Do you have all of the permits necessary to do what you're doing? Yada yada yada. And most people are going to tell you honestly, they're going to tell you the truth, and if they're not telling you the truth, it'll be pretty easy to pick up on in most cases. So that would be my top one of the top problems you can experience when hiring mobile detailers. Next, there are a lot of hobbyists, right? And so maybe they do have a business license, maybe they do have insurance, maybe they really are running a business, but they're more of on the hobbyist end. So what I mean by that is they're not keeping up with the new trends of detailing. They're not practicing continually to better their skills. They kind of pick this is what I do, this is what I have fun doing, and they just kind of do that. So it's like a hobby for them. It's not really like, let's just deliver the greatest results possible. Let's not pick out, what our customer specifically needs, what their specific interest is, and try to deliver the best value possible based on what the customer actually wants me to deliver. So there are a lot of hobbyists in the mobile detailing world. In the detailing industry in general, there's a lot of hobbyists, but in the mobile detailing world, I see it a whole lot more because I'm actually in it every day. And again, it's so easy to just throw your stuff from the garage into the car, call yourself a mobile detailer, get out, start detailing vehicles. So now we can move away from the kind of the businessy kind of end of it, and we can talk about what we'll experience in the business owner, the mobile detailer to the customer experience. One of the big things with mobile detailing, a problem that can happen, is the weather. Okay, not a huge issue, but it is an obstacle that you do have to overcome. So just like guys that work on roofs, lawn care, the highway maintenance guys, people working for the city, the weather plays a huge role in whether or not you're able to actually get out and do work. So there have been plenty of times I've scheduled some work with a customer, if it's a month out, 2 or 3 weeks out, whatever it may be, and then the time come and it's going to rain all day. Sometimes you'll have rain for 5 days in a row. And here in Alabama, that you can look at the forecast as thunderstorms Monday through Friday, and it might only rain 2 days out of the week. So that is an obstacle that you'll have. But that's also one that you can remedy simply by keeping up with the customer 2-3 days ahead of time. If it looks like it's going to rain, check up with them, say, hey, when it comes time, the night before and the day of, I'll get up early, I'll check the weather, we'll see what's going on, and then you can kind of figure out when you need to reschedule if you do end up having to reschedule. Or if there's a garage available, just put the car in the garage, work inside. Super easy to do that as well. But that is an issue that you can experience when hiring a mobile detailer or being a mobile detailer. The weather does play a huge factor in your success and how often you can work. Also, travel time, right? So, or not just travel time, but traveling. Like me, I work all over Lee County, Columbus, some of the cities around me. So, one detail might be 10 minutes down the road. Doesn't take me that long to get there. Another one might be 45 minutes down the road. And the issues you can experience here will be mainly with kind of scheduling things out, because if you got a shop and you have two cars that need to be worked on, they're right next to each other. You can finish this one and go straight to that one, right? I can't really do it that way. So I have to go out to a detail, estimate how long it's going to take me to complete the job, and let the customer that's booked after that know this is roughly the time that I'll be there. And so you can experience some issues there sometimes getting it pinpoint accuracy with your scheduling. Also, let's say that I'm out in Columbus and I need to travel 30-40 miles up to the north side of Auburn or something, and there's a big traffic jam, there's a wreck, something like that's going on, a bridge is closed down, you can't use a certain exit. So now I'm 10-15 minutes later than I would have been originally. You can experience issues like that as well. And so what I try to do with those two, if you're experiencing that, you just want to communicate very well with the customer. That's the key there. You both kind of got to know, hey, sorry, there's a wreck, or hey, sorry, this exit's closed down. I'll be there about 10 or 15 minutes later. So that's another issue that you can occur, is there's a lot of travel time, and there's a lot of variables that can happen between coming from here, coming to here, yada, yada, yada. Another big issue with mobile detailing, or not an issue, but a difficulty with mobile detailing, is when you're working in all these different cities, 8, 9, 10, 15, however many different cities that you're traveling around working in, they typically all have a specific permit or some kind of guidelines you've got to go by in order to work there. Some of them will give you stickers or badges or like a sheet you have to look at to go over and just kind of understand. And a lot of it, what they're concerned with is, if your detailer is using like acid or some really strong harsh chemical and it's constantly getting into streams, things like that, your public waterworks or whatever. So you have to have like 1 million different licenses, 1 million different permits. And if you're an illegitimate detailer or just kind of on the hobbyist end, they generally are not going to purchase, 10 or 15 different permits, licenses, whatever the case may be. So that is another issue that you can have, or difficulty that you can have as a mobile detailer. So it would be awful if you hired a guy and he didn't have his permit, and then someone rides by from the city, pops in, says, hey man, do you have this, do you have that, are you licensed here, yada yada yada, and he's not, and then halfway through your detail he's got to pack up and get out of there because he's in trouble, and go pick up his license and come back 2 or 3 days later and finish the detail. So those are the top difficulties, the top problems that you can experience when hiring a mobile detailer. And again, they're not big issues as long as you find a professional, licensed, insured, real mobile detailing company and hire them. Communicate well back and forth with each other. Understand that the weather might come into play. There's some travel issues, things like that. There might be some pricing variances, because you can't see the vehicle over the phone. You won't know until you see it in person. Even if you're receiving pictures, you won't know for sure until you've seen it. So, just look for professional, real, legitimate detailer, okay? Communicate well back and forth with each other. Make sure everything is understood. Make sure you're keeping up to date with one another, and all of your problems will sail away. Things will be nice and smooth. Nothing to worry about. So that's just my little rundown of some of the issues that you can experience with a mobile detailer, and I hope that answers a lot of the questions you may have. If you have any more, feel free to drop by my website, myawesomedetailer.net. Check out the blog. Come over to my Facebook, facebook.com .com/my awesome detailer. If you have any other questions that maybe I haven't answered, feel free to comment, message me, give me a call at 334-377-0123, whatever it may be. Be sure to run it by me, and I will be more than happy to answer it for you. All right, guys, thanks for watching.